What's up, everybody? Walter here. I'm going to be reviewing The Last Jedi. This is going to be a spoiler-free review. If you want to hear my spoiler-filled thoughts on this movie, go ahead and check out Awesome Comics' Facebook page. That's facebook.com/AwesomeComicsShow. I'm on there with Ayana Wade, Heather Roos, and Jim J. Roz, and we're all talking the spoilers in Star Wars, so check that out if you want to hear my spoiler thoughts. But let's go into the movie and just what I thought about it in general. Now, I've only seen it once so far, so I think what I'm going to do is see it one more time before giving a full review, but this is more of a spoiler-free first reactions to the movie. I liked it the first time through. I thought it was a pretty good movie. There were things that I didn't like about it that I'll get into, but overall, I liked the movie. I loved elements of it. I loved certain scenes. It's definitely got its problems, and it's got its weaknesses, but we'll get into that right now. I wasn't a fan really at all of Finn's arc in this movie. He was an important character in Episode 7, and just his whole handling in this movie I thought wasn't really very well done. There is a couple scenes that I thought worked pretty well, but for the most part, his whole arc in this just didn't feel necessary. This movie is already 2.5 hours long. They could have had him do something a little bit more important than what we saw in the movie, but if you see it, you know what I'm talking about. I just wasn't a fan of that really at all. A lot of my other negative thoughts I can't really go into discussing without being, spoilers. So if you go ahead and check out that video on the Awesome Comics Facebook page, you can see my thoughts more on the negative aspects of it. I can say that I am a little bit concerned about where the trilogy is headed, since we started off with J.J. Abrams with The Force Awakens. Rian Johnson both wrote and directed this movie, and now J.J. Abrams is taking back over again for Episode 9. It is sort of feeling a little bit uneven. I'm not sure where J.J. is going to go, because Ryan really took over this trilogy at this part. I mean, there are a lot of things that make Episode 7 a little bit more insignificant, and I'm not quite sure how I feel about that. It definitely, to me, makes Episode 7 a little less enjoyable. I mean, not to the point where I don't like it. I mean, I still really like Episode 7, but it makes the things that happen in there not quite as important. But, yeah, going forward with J.J. Abrams taking back over, it's going to be interesting to see if he sort of course corrects to original ideas that he haven't had in Episode 7 that were sort of upset in Episode 8, or what he does with this, because it's definitely a very different feeling Star Wars movie, and that can be both a negative and positive thing. This is a movie that does not feel like any other Star Wars movie that's been released, including, like Rogue One. This is a completely new experience. There are things that remind you of Star Wars here and there. I mean, they're obviously the characters and everything, and a little bit of The Empire Strikes Back is in there and things like that, but for the most part, the tone of this movie is very interesting and doesn't quite match up with the things that came before it. So what I did like about this was Luke and Rey's stuff on the island was all fantastic. Whenever anything involving Luke, Rey, or Kylo, I thought was handled really well. Once again, I can't go into too much about it, but I thought that their performances were all really good. Their character arcs really exceeded my expectations, and I'm really excited to see where they go from here with everyone involved here. So the point here that I'm trying to make is that overall I like the movie, and I want to hear what you guys thought of the movie as well, because I'm seeing the difference on Rotten Tomatoes right now is insane. It's got like a 93% critic score and a 58% audience score that I've seen right now. So I want to hear what you guys think of it. I heard a lot of people say it just straight up sucks, which I do not agree with. I talked to someone earlier today that said it was as bad or if not worse than the prequels, which I think is just, personally, I think that's a totally ignorant statement. I mean, just from a technical perspective and how this movie was made, you could tell it's just a much better made movie than the prequels. I think that's ridiculous, but people are going to have different opinions on it. I know some people that hate it, so let me know why you hate it in the comments. I didn't love it. I mean, I have to see it one more time to really get a good perspective on it once again, but I did like it coming out of it. So I want to hear what you guys think. Leave some comments below, and make sure you check out the Awesome Comics video over on our Facebook page if you want to see my spoiler-filled thoughts with some guests that were on Awesome Comics on there. So I'll talk to you guys later. Thanks for watching, and may the Force be with you.